Radio Berlin 88.8. Hey Music mit Jürgens.
You know, we had an idea in 2007 to come back and reform the band. And we had a couple of magic years. It was a fantastic start, but there wasn't any new material involved. It was more of a greatest hits, kind of a celebration of the previous years. And then we lost Stephen. And when Stephen passed away, everything changed. We didn't know if there was really a future for the band. And it took us a bit of time to figure out where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. So we took a bit of time. We did a tour out of respect for Steo in celebration of his life. And then we took some time off. And then, you know, we got back together and we decided we wanted to make a new album. And we got this incredible offer from Warner Music. So a brand new record deal. After 20 years, 4-album deal with Warner Music internationally. It was like, you know, for somebody to believe in us again, to find someone who, you know, believed in Boyzone and championed us and you know, was committed to not just one single or one album, but you know, a real future for the band. It gave us a new lease of life, and with that, we got back in the studio and we took our time. We made this album, and we feel it's the best body of work we've ever made. And having control, because we didn't in the past. We were kids and we were puppets, and we were kind of almost told what to do and controlled by the record company as a boy band. But now, as men, as fathers, as husbands, as whatever, you know, as what we are, wives for some of us, you know, it's a renaissance. We're back better than ever.
I think because we were so young, we were very naive and innocent, and we had come from a small town basically within Dublin, you know. To be able to travel the world and experience all the magnificent things that we did at that time, you know, it was, I suppose it opens your mind an awful lot to see a lot of the things that we seen at that time. Everything was brand new and fresh and unbelievable, you know. So those times were really great, very innocent, and we had a lot of fun together as well, you know. It was the first time round, you know.
And what were the most boring things?
Second time round.
Yeah.
And then the third time round.
I don't think relatively was anything boring, because the life was so fast. I think if the most challenging thing of any kind of music adventure, promo work, etc., is you're always in a hurry to wait, and every time you're always late for the plane, and then you got to sit around and wait, and you always got to get to a TV and hurry, and then you sit around and wait, and you know, I think they're the most challenging times, because there's a lot of downtime. If you actually spent all that time hanging around working, you could achieve a hell of a lot. So I think it can just get a little bit monotonous to the point. So you have to kind of try and keep yourself fresh-minded. That's the most difficult thing, you know. And I think especially if you enjoy each other's company as we do, we're in a very lucky position as men that we actually like to spend time together, and we like each other's company. So those hours can go by quicker than it probably has in the past, you know.
Cheers to the broken hearts, to the ones that love, the ones that held the losing cards.
I think the years that we were apart, I think what we missed most probably was the camaraderie between the four of us, and obviously when Stephen was alive, the five of us. I think Stephen's passing made us realise how much we mean to each other, and I think it made us realise how important we are to each other, and I think that made us want to work together even more, to spend that kind of time together. It's very few opportunities in life that you get, that you become part of a brotherhood, you become part of an inner circle of trust and love and friendship. And we were very, very blessed to have been thrown into that life as teenagers, and then, you know, to have that kind of support and friendship 20 years later. If we could possibly be successful again and give us a reason to travel and to perform together again, well then it's worth taking that chance, it's worth giving it a go, it's worth, you know, putting the hours in. And regardless of our success now moving forward, whatever happens in our life as individuals, we will always have that huge part of each other's life, great memories and great friendships.
Have you been in contact in the time with me? Have you been in contact all the time?
Well, I think when we kind of took a break in 2000, and amongst that period, it was busy for us trying to establish our own individual lives. And from time to time, yes, we kind of crossed paths in different countries more than anything else. We didn't quite have the pleasure of hanging out in a local pub with each other, really. It was still a very busy time. And then, but as far as phone calls and whatnot were concerned, yeah, we always stayed in touch. We never lost the idea of Boyzone. We always had it in the back of our minds, and it was just a matter of the right time to kind of rekindle that, really.
You all had different plans in the meantime and your own solo careers. Ronan had a really deep contact to the Eurovision Song Contest. You have been the host and you've written a song for Denmark. You're interested till today?
I mean, we all, in Ireland, the Eurovision Song Contest as children was massive, as you know. So like Johnny Logan and Linda Martin and all these, incredible winners we had from Ireland over the years. So as a kid, you grew up watching it. It was a big deal in the household. Back when we had 4 channels, that's all. It was a big TV show. So yeah, that stays with you, I think. That definitely stays with you. We were lucky enough. I hosted it in '97, and Boyzone performed on the show also in Dublin. That was a big deal for us. It was a really massive. There's 300 million viewers watches.
It's the biggest musical program in the world.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, look, it does have a bad rep. Some of the music is pretty tacky and dodgy, and but that's what it is. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt, and it's a certain thing. And it was important to us as kids growing up, so it's nice to be part of it like that. But I mean, when I wrote that song for Denmark, I didn't write it as a Eurovision song. I wrote it as when in the studio, and this Danish guy asked could he cover it and record it, should I say? And it was great. I mean, he got into the final, and it was the #1 hit across Denmark for about 10 weeks after that. So it was deadly. It was great. Yeah, it all worked. It was all good.
It's a much harder competition now, though. I mean, a lot of the countries have broken down and become independent countries of each other, and that makes it a lot more difficult for Ireland to win now. Back in the day, the competition wasn't as big, but now it's massive, and I think. Eastern Europe now, there's so many different countries now that it's hard, and they're all next door neighbours, so they kind of help each other out and give themselves a lot of points. So a little island of Ireland doesn't get that type of support anymore, unfortunately.
We'll be back.
Boyzone was well known for cover versions. Most of the hits have been cover versions. But now you're writing more and more, or in the last years you have written more and more songs on your own. What is the difference having own material on stage and doing this?
Well, personally speaking, I far more prefer to be performing songs that we have written ourselves. But back years ago, when we were beginning, we were too young and inexperienced to know the art of the music business, and the songs that we would have wrote ourselves weren't as powerful, I suppose, as some of the songs that were written for us by professional songwriters. And we were told what to do as well. We were young, and we were under the care of people who knew far better than we did. So there were a lot of covers were chosen for us to do as well. But we made those cover songs our own, and to this day I still enjoy playing or performing those songs, because quite a lot of them I enjoyed the originals of them as well anyway, but in answer to your question, I suppose all across the board we prefer to, we like when we're doing, whether it's covers or original, but my personal preference is when it's a song that we have actually written.
Pretty much before Christmas there, we were on tour in the UK ourselves. Is one of the reasons why we actually couldn't come and promo the record over here. that's why we're a little bit late, to say the least. So we're trying to play catch up in that respect. So as soon as it does well and it's out there and enough people have heard the material and are liking the material, then we'll be back, and we can't wait. We can't wait for our European tour. It's been a long time since we'd had the pleasure to play here. So with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, the more interviews we do, the more people hear it, and the quicker we will be here.
Pass around the bottle and I'll share your troubles.
The solo projects, will there be new solo projects as well?
Well, Ronan maintains a solo career at all times, really, you know, and runs that, coincides that with the Boyzone project. So I'm sure he wishes to continue that.
Yeah, well, you know, we've all got different things. I'm off to Australia this year again to do X Factor, my 5th year. Whether I record
Is it fun till today?
Yeah.
You're a product of a casting show
Yeah,
as well.
it's a lot of fun.
And there are so many casting shows now. What is your opinion about it?
The beauty of X Factor in Australia, it feels like it's only really starting to happen now after 5 years. It's at its peak. It's like the last year was #1 and it smashed the ratings. So it's nice to be involved. I've been lucky enough to find some great talent there and actually continue to work with that talent after the show. So yeah, for me, I think it's a great opportunity. It's harder out there. Record companies aren't signing bands as quickly as they used to, and they don't have the budgets they used to have. And so shows like X Factor and Idol and so on are fantastic ways to find new talent, as long as it's done right and they're protected. I think it's wonderful. I really enjoy working on the show. I really enjoy it.
But again, back to the other projects.
Other projects, yeah, I might do an album this year, or I might not. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have the time. A solo record. Boyzone are going to record an album this year for next year, which will happen towards the end, the back half of this year. So I mean, it's going to be a really busy year. So I don't know if I'll get time to make another record, as much as I'd love to, and mark my 20 years as an individual in the industry as well. But I don't know if I'll be able. And I'm really happy with the Boyzone record and being back in the band. To be truly honest with you. Putting those two hats on at the moment is difficult for me, wearing the two hats. I'm enjoying X Factor and my duties there, but musically being with the band. So, you know, I think it's time for a break from solo for a while.
And you've been working with Burt Bacharach.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. Amazing.
How was this?
Amazing. It was amazing. In Capitol Studios, 45-piece orchestra, recording 10 songs of Burt's with Burt, Al Schmidt on the desk. I mean, unbelievable. Opportunity of a lifetime. Phil Gaines on piano, Michael Jackson's MD. J.R. Robertson on drums, who played on Beat It. I mean, the band was ridiculous. It was an honour. And me on, you know, little old me on mic.
You're now in Berlin. Have you been more than this time here in this beautiful city? Do you have any memories?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here. Did you want to answer? No. Okay, we've been over the years. We were here a lot in Boyzone's first 6 years. Boyzone's first 6 years, we spent a lot of time in Hamburg and Cologne, Dusseldorf. Hamburg was where the record companies were based, the TV stations, and in the gap. In the 7 years that we broke, everything seemed to move to Berlin. You know, the record companies, the media.
Too late.
No, fantastic, amazing. So Boyzone have had this, you know, opportunity now to see Berlin properly, you know, and start to spend a bit of time here. I've been lucky enough to tour here and spend a bit of time. What a magical city, amazing. The history here is incredible, and every time I travel, you learn something new from somebody. You hear something, a different story. And you know, even like this morning at 5:30 a.m. this morning, we drove to a TV studio to do a breakfast show down by the old part of the wall on the river. You know, just when you think about, you know, that wasn't a movie. That wasn't something made up. This was real. There was a wall that separated a city with guards on either side. I mean, it's just incredible to think that happened, and not long ago, you know, in our lifetime. You know, and here we are now driving through that city, a city that's free from that. It's incredible, you know. So to learn more, I wish we had time to learn more, to spend more time, and maybe over the years we will. It's a fascinating town.
So hope to see you very soon.
Thank you
again in this beautiful city.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Sing la 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 la, save the day.
Another one?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jürgen. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Vino, Matt, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Jürgen. Good to see you again. Thank you.
Thanks, Jürgen. Cheers, buddy.